Plymouth City Council has been awarded £300 million to build a light rail tram system throughout Plymouth. They've selected 6 teams or 6 consortiums, which are all your teams, and in the next 2 days you have to bid to design, build, operate for 10 years that system. Very simple. Normally takes us, when we do this work, about 2 years, and you're doing it in 2 days. Okay? You have to submit your bid by 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. And then at 2:30, each of your teams will then have to do a presentation to a panel, and that panel will include a Plymouth City councillor. She's coming along tomorrow afternoon, so you will be presenting to the council. Yeah. But it's not just about designing route, you're going to cost it, you're going to think about it in more detail. You've got to consider legal matters. Maybe there's compulsory purchases, maybe there's public inquiries. You've got to consider all the materials all the way throughout it. You consider your technical solution. How are you going to build this? What's it going to look like? What are your trams going to be? How are they going to be powered? Are they going to be powered by overhead lines? What are they going to be?
We've got like 3 bus services. We've got the National Rail.
Let's crack on these roles. So we've got also an engineering director. So that's going to be technical design, development, detailed design for the product, risk assessments, ensuring compliance with regulatory standards. That might be a law kind of aspect. I'm not sure. Finance director, responsible for financial management. You said maths, which is.
Team name.
Oh yes, team name. That's going to be the first most important thing. We need something cheesy. We need something. Sounds like something off The Apprentice.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got engineer director, a finance one, human resources, IT, legal, marketing, and operations.
And brand as well.
And brand.
So instead of having the unsightly wire running along the top, why not have the electric either A, running through the tracks, or put a wire through the track?
Even if we don't
Then you
use
get
it,
publicity as well.
that's good.
But then you also might have added costs on top of that. It's not necessarily the cheapest option.
Well, at least if we look at it, then we can say we did actually look at this option. But
I think it would be a good idea to pair the main station with the Central Parking Road. I mean, that's pretty obvious, really.
How far does it go out? Do we get into the issue of having to go through habitats?
But then the only thing with that is people who want to be here don't want to go
Well, maybe.
there. Do you know what I mean? Like.
So, right, I'm not going to use the roads, I'm just going to draw straight on. Right, if we... There we go, and then that's linked.
Do you not think it's probably best for at least one of us to go to these meetings?
I think.
First time you say use the tram, you on the machines at the side of the road, there could be a button, register new user. You put in all your details. It gives you an already printed, already standardised card.
Okay. So we're going to see the supplier first, and then the consultant. Okay. Consultants at 11:45.
Who's going to go to these?
Technical supplier.
Did you change it up?
Yeah, I did. I thought you about it.
We're not running the train line into Cornwall because it's clearly going to cost too much.
Yeah, because to build a whole other length of this very similar, it's 5 to 10 million per kilometre.
Yeah, it makes sense to just go back on when you're coming in.
Want to run up net? Yeah, I know.
Okay. Now, I've an idea why. Why have you called it Jam and Tram?
Well, because we wanted something very Plymouthian, something that, since it's a buzz trying to connect all the transport systems here in Plymouth.
Yes. This was yours, wasn't it? The Jam and Trams originally?
Yeah.
I've heard you since rebranded.
Yeah.
Hello. We are Vigilant Transport. I'm Craig.
I'm Molly.
I'm Stan.
I'm Catherine.
£17.3 million turnover.
£2.2 million profit.
All this and a reliable, on-time, under-budget project.
We are Spark. We come to you with a really simple concept for Plymouth.
quick and direct trams. We want to get our customers where they want to be, exactly when they want to be there.
Glide card that we use. Basically, it's a £5 deposit for a glide card. The glide card is a smart plastic card which is used instead of paper. The glide card is a cheap, efficient way of paying for the trams. It is run with an automatic system and it works at the cheapest rate for your journey.
You're not taking down any houses, we're not taking down any of the natural environment. We have tried to avoid any high danger bomb areas, any historical areas. We're not placing overhead cables in any places where it would be obviously aesthetically unpleasing. And
you said about your trams could run up to 60 miles an hour. Could you explain where you're going to run in at 60 miles an hour?
The main point that we want to emphasise is that our route connects all major locations around Plymouth. It's a 35-kilometre track with 16 stations pinpointed at key locations around the city.
But we're also going to use regenerative braking, which is when the braking is fed back into the system and reused. So it's, again, recycling, we're being eco-friendly, and we're bringing that green scheme back into our tram system.
As part of our construction as well, we have implemented junctions where double track lines overlap. So if a tram needed to back up for any reason without obstructing another tram, you would be able to move onto a different line to allow the trams to pass through.
So you see there's a lot of curves on this tram, a lot of glass, very modern look. This is two quick sketches of sort of possible uniforms. You see on the left there's the female uniform with 3/4 length blouse, blue waistcoat and the Platinum Lines logo, grey trousers, because well, we're blue and grey really. And then the male uniform, the blue waistcoat again, full length sleeve shirt and blue tie. This is a sort of quick rendition of the platform that we put together.
How many jobs would you be creating?
I've got an environmental question. I keep hearing about how environmentally friendly these trams are and how it's going to save a lot of carbon because of the lack of the saving car journeys. However, I've not heard anything about the embodied carbon in the materials in construction for the permanent way or the rolling stock. My question is, when does this become carbon neutral?
Okay, so we've proposed that we've got a 10-year deal with EDF Energy that will be using their green energy, so straight away that's reduced some carbon emissions. We've then got the box as well, which reduces 30% of the energy that we use, so again that's reducing it.
You mentioned about awarding the work to local Plymouth companies. How are you going to ensure that they're not going to outsource that work to outside of the area?
That's a very good question.
Can you give me some details on your construction cost?
We kept it new and we think that works very well for us. We've kept tough style, all the things we wanted, and we think it's come out well. We think that we have a strong brand that can work well with Plymouth City Council.
In terms of your initial capital expenditure, you're saying it's going to cost you almost 350 million. So, and then in, I think it was year 2 or year 3, you were going to go and expand your route into Plymouth. But you're making losses during that period.
We've already calculated within, when we spoke to the suppliers, the third route. So we've already budgeted for that.
Well, I think, would you agree, ladies and gentlemen, that one of the skills that we have tested over the last 2 days is working in a team?
Yes.
Okay.
Test it to the edge.
Yes. In terms of other skills that we've tested over the last 2 days, how about working to deadlines? Yes. Okay. How about working under pressure? Yes. How about presenting? Yes. How about written reports? Yes. Okay. Am I missing anything? No. You'll not be surprised. Sorry?
Planning.
Planning, yes. You'll not be surprised that these are all the sort of skills that all of these employers think are really important.
And I'm very pleased to announce that the winner of the most promising future lawyer is Oliver Thomas.
Our 2 winners, our joint winners, for KPMG Best Future Accountants 2012, Harry Cobbold and Jordan Batten-Simons.
So we found it, I was looking for two different things really. Someone who showed an aptitude, we thought had an aptitude for the construction side, the skills that we're looking for, and someone who was a true professional. So I then decided to make it into two different awards, and the first award goes to someone I'm calling Plymouth's Best Future Builder for the skills he demonstrated over the 2 days, and that goes to Stephen Bryant. So the award for the person we felt had the right skills for to be the Plymouth's Best Future Construction Professional for 2012. An opportunity to work in any of the Balfour BT operations that we have. We can set something up in the office or the operation that suits you. That goes to someone who is pursuing a career in medicine, but if you ever decide to change your mind, it's Catherine Freeman.
Property consultant. Bailey Partnership, property consultants. Guy and I are chartered surveyors, so that's the core of our business. And we were looking for somebody that could be adaptable, was numerate, could grasp complexity. That's what it's about. You've got to want to get involved, to build, to develop, to change the environment we live in. As I say, on about 10% of the fee of a solicitor and about 5% of that of an accountant. And we decided in the end that there were 3 or 4 names in the hat, but one stood up, and that is Lydia Wood.
Right, now we actually had 3 different rail companies here. We had, try and get this correct, Atkins, give us a wave Atkins, MGB Signals, give us a wave MGB Signals, and I'm going to get the pronunciation right, Bombardier. Okay, they've combined to give a single award, so who's going to announce it? Paul?
When we started yesterday morning, Andy said this would be a challenge like no other years. And I think we proved that. I'm not sure it made you very happy. But you could have guessed that with the rail forum involved, it might have kind of a rail influence to the challenge. We were looking for Best Future Rail Engineer. And it's interesting that I don't think many of you at all want to go into the railway industry. So it made the challenge for us quite difficult. Anybody who did want to go into the railway industry, I don't think wants to go into it anymore. So you'll be forgiven if you refuse the prize. It was quite tight, difficult to make a decision. There were 3 individuals that stood out for us. It was Stephen Bryant, Crystal Keats and Sam Duffield. But together we made the decision that the award should go to Sam.
That's all the employers we've actually got here, but there was another person who impressed us so much with particular skill that we actually thought we need to go do another award.
Yeah.
So we went away and did another award. Do you want to talk about that other award?
Yeah. You might think it's nothing to do with the railway industry, but actually the skills that this person holds are applicable across lots of industries and could certainly fit in the railway industry somewhere. And it's being creative and artistic and has showed particular skills that I'm sure the individual involved will go very far in the industry she chooses. And that award goes to Best Creative Talent to Jessica.
That leaves just 2 teams, that leaves Vigilant and Platinum. So we'll do the good bits for both, and then we'll do the bad bits and you can work out who's won. Okay, so we'll start with Vigilant first, good parts. Good route, good level of stops, right number of stops in the right sort of areas, excellent presentation, good level of profit. So that was very good. Platinum, The use of Plymouth Airport, again another excellent route, good presentation. The only team to actually talk about borrowing. Everybody else was talking about sponsorship and so forth. I think Platinum are the only team who actually said, we're going to borrow some money and pay it back from revenue and from sponsorship. I mean, it was what we were looking for, to be perfectly honest. We believe the figures were okay, and also looking at to encourage new business. They talked about in the certain areas, it would encourage new business to be brought into those areas. So that's the good points. So the bad points, the team vigilant, £6 plus bus fare, I'm afraid, again, too expensive. The number of passengers per tram, I think it was between 300 and 400 passengers per tram. I think the average crush level of a tram, when you're literally like this, is about 240, so I think you're on the roof and hanging off the side and what have you. And we're concerned about the quantity of trams in general. Okay? And then for Platinum, we couldn't find any bad points, so there are.
So the third place overall, and also somebody who works very, very hard. And we saw somebody working very, very hard over the 2 days. Now, tragically, a sign of working very, very hard is actually she's not here because she's gone to her job, which is a shame. But the third place winner this year, so Plymouth's third most employable 17-year-old, is Jenny Maguire. So this year's second place overall, runner-up, Plymouth's second most employable 17-year-old, is Oliver. And then we did a second method, credit to Stephen, this is Stephen's method, went around the table again. Who's your number one? We asked all the judges who's your number one, and amazingly, it wasn't close. We had most of the judges said the same person out of that big long list of 15 people. So the overall winner in the end was a winner by a mile. Now, about every 2 years in this competition, somebody breaks my heart because it's somebody who I think, oh, you would make such a good chartered accountant. But they've clearly decided they want to do something else with their life. This year, I think we've got somebody who broke a lot of the judges' hearts because I know she wants to do something else that isn't represented by any of the employers. She's got her own very firm idea of what she wants to do in life. And I think she stands every chance of doing well in that, and I hope the certificate that says Plymouth's most employable 17-year-old is going to help you achieve what you want in life. So, the winner of your Highest 2012, Plymouth's most employable 17-year-old, Catherine. Trophy?
Speech.